Good afternoon, Hate Nation, folks, cats, and everything in between and beyond. My name is Roy, the host of Mahapanies. I keep being the guy that has no idea what he's talking about, and I fully certify it. But here I am, 2025-26 season with two preseason games on the book, all two for the Miami Heat. Both of them lost in a fashion of being at home games, but the first one was in Puerto Rico. Now, before I even delve into whatever it is that I got out of the two games, but specifically of the last game, because the game before that against the Magic, I actually wrote about that, and I gave some props to Keels. I thought that Ware did very well, or did decently at least, and then I think that things changed a little bit. But it's before doing that, I just want to walk over back to memory lane. And we are in the past preseason, and one of the main focuses of that preseason is no longer here. We're not going to talk about it. But what we observed in those preseason games was one of the things. For example, Duncan Robinson being a glue guy, right, of the team, being playing well with absolutely anyone that was on the floor. An incredibly fast and quick pace, trying to get the threes out, lots of steals, very few turnovers, and then we had the season that we had. And I think that it was one of the worst seasons that we've had in a while, although because of the play-in, that again saved us for the third consecutive time. We made the playoffs, and we were just destroyed by the Cavaliers in the same fashion, as I mentioned in the article I wrote for social media, against the Magic, in the same fashion that we lost against the Magic in the season opener last season. So, if there's one thing that we can take from both Summer League games and especially preseason games, is that we don't know what kind of team we're going to have. First of all, the only original guard, I think, is Dru Smith. I believe that Norm is playing that, Wiggins is playing that role in a way, right? And then, of course, we've got Nico at the 4. That's another topic to talk about right now, to see, the differences between Nico being at the 4 with his development over the summer, over the break, I guess, during the off season. And his contributions in FIBA, which again is not nearly as good as the NBA. Therefore, a lot of things that Jovic does very well while playing against other European teams that he doesn't necessarily translate into the Heat. And we'll see that. But in the preseason, at least, Jokic is giving us a run for his money. So again, the preseason doesn't translate into the regular season in any shape or form whatsoever. Okay. We've had an interesting combination of minutes played, as usual, during the preseason. I think Wiggins obviously did very well. I think that Norm did very well, and that Jovic did very well. And I say very well for the parameters of what the preseason is, for the good and for the bad, meaning for the good and for the worst part of their presentations yesterday. Bam Adebayo kind of started a little bit better, but then fizzled. His performance is just not what we need Bam to be. Look, Bam is an interesting conversation, but I don't think that it's time to talk about that just yet. We are going to wait until we have a sample size of 20 games in the season. We're going to complain plenty until then, but without that sample size, and of course, as we're getting closer to the 20, we kind of have an idea of where the 20 is going to wind up. So it's not exactly 20 games, but we do have to wait until the first sample size of the season to see how the team is playing. Dru Smith, again, picking up exactly where he left off, which I think is very important for the team. But so is Jaime Jaquez. As I observed with Ralph. Ralph observed it before I did, but I was thinking the same thing. I think I was just kind of, it was late, and I was too tired to answer him. But he sent me a message and said, Jaime Jaquez, it wasn't a slump, but just I don't think that he knows how he can contribute to the team either, which is something that was also said on 5 Reasons. Look, I need to mention them if I say something that came across their channel. I'm not advertising for them or want their attention in any way, please. I mean, gosh, the people that speak there actually have an idea what they're talking about. So, but you see Jaquez, and it just I do see him better defensively, which is what I was going to tell Raf, and Raf told me. But his offensive game is just the same, and it's just I don't know what exactly is going to happen with him, and I think that he is concerning. Again, we don't have Tyler Hero, we don't have Kasparis. Who else? We don't have Terry Rozier, but again, I count him as a +3. But we basically don't have our best player. I think our all-star, the offensive all-star being Tyler Hero. We don't have Pelle Larsson, who we know can contribute because he did. So even in the preseason, we can't really see the true testament. By the way, you can pretty much realize I said we are 0-2, but there's no feelings involved in that. I mean, look, in the first game, we blew up a lead of 15 points. In the second game, we committed a lot of turnovers. Those were points of concerns in all of the seasons that I can remember since Heroes and Bam's tenure, right? I'm not saying that's their fault. Obviously, Jaquez, for example, was responsible for a lot of turnovers, just like the younguns, right? And in that case, I'm going to say, for example, Gardner, right? It's good to have Precious back, but I'm not sure that he knows what exactly his role is going to be. Khalil Ware is obviously going to be used as a backup for Bam, and his numbers would say something, I guess, but yeah, it had a -21 yesterday. Keshad Johnson also, I really liked his game, -22. Gardner had some sparks of decency, -22. Where's Keels in this? -12. I can't imagine how Keels yesterday had a higher plus-minus than Keshad Johnson and Gardner, but that's the case. For Ware, it was perceptible. You know, it could impact the game so much more, and he just did. I see some sparks of good with Young and Thompson, and I see nothing of good from Goldin and Dainja. But again, preseason, you know, Keels actually balled last game against the Magic and then just played miserably this game with 28 minutes. I think that he was the guy that played the most minutes. He had 28 minutes. Everybody else under him played 24 with Gardner, and then 23 for Jovic and Jaquez, 16 for Wiggins, Bam Adebayo, 8 for Smith, 16 for Powell. So I guess that's what he kind of wanted for those people. In any case, there's really not much to take away other than Khalil Ware's improvement was expected, and he was expected to be showcased soon. However, that's the good thing of a preseason. You have time. We'll play tomorrow against the Spurs. We'll play Sunday against Magic, then Monday against Atlanta. I think the Memphis after that Monday, after that Sunday, I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether we have a game after that Monday. I don't know if we have a game Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I don't think so. Then Grizzlies on Friday, and then the season opener against the Magic. We have time to kind of, you know, get those ridiculously missed layups, a huge problem last season, out of the way, because those are the kind of the jitters of beginning a season. So the preseason kind of serves us well in that respect. But and of course, trying to observe, it's really the players that want to be there and want to show that they're there. Other than Dru Smith, who I think that just because of the fact that he only played 8 minutes, that shows how much, yeah, we got you, Dru Smith. You're with us. You're gonna play. You know, one way or another. I think Dru Smith plays. But what you want to really observe is Achua, Johnson, Gardner, Young, and Thompson. Obviously, it would be interesting to see more of. I didn't see Fontecchio. I think Fontecchio was in the injury list, and I just missed it. Didn't think that his play was extraordinary. Like I said in the article I wrote for social media. Basically, I think that he's better than Myers Leonard because I really have nothing to compare him to. You know, Fontecchio is not probably going to be in the rotation much unless there are injuries. In any case, it's really, really good to have Miami Heat to watch. This is what the preseason brings. A little bit of getting the nerves out of the way, being able to observe the young ones who thus far have not impressed, but also we don't have our main rookie, and Kasparis. We don't have Pelle Larsson, our second pick last season. So we definitely want to see them play as well because they're going to be part of the rotation, but in the longer in the last like side of the bench, right? But we still want to see them. We still want to see them play, and unfortunately, we didn't have the opportunity to do so. That's not a problem. I'm happy again that we have a game to watch tomorrow. Then we have a game to watch on Sunday. Then we have a game to watch on Monday. Then we have a game to watch on Friday, and then we start the season on the 22nd. So I'm happy that the Heat is back. It's gonna be nerve-wracking, but this is what I used to say in Brazil. It's bad with them. It's worse without them. And no, this is not talking about men or women. This is truly talking about our teams. Let's go Heat.